extremely fortunate to have Coretta Scott King with us here today. Mrs. King is one of the most respected women in the world, and she happens to be my boss. So she is a leading activist. She stood with her husband, Martin Luther King Jr. She's the founder of the Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change here in Atlanta. I'm very proud to also note that during the 20th anniversary of the March on Washington, Mrs. King led the largest coalition on a human rights issue. And during that time, there were some folks that didn't want gays and lesbians participating, but it was Mrs. King who led the coalition and said, yes, they have a place at the table, and made sure we were there. So without further delay, people of the world, listen, think, and act, and welcome Mrs. Coretta Scott King to your stage.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Lynn Cochran, for your very fine introduction. Lynn has traveled with me many thousands of miles, many speaking engagements, and he's heard me introduced hundreds of times. So Lynn, on this day, I'm especially glad that you paid attention and learned how to give a good introduction. Good introductions are short, too. Thank you. I want to also commend you, Lynn, for your pioneering leadership in making Lesbian and Gay Pride Day such a great success. Lynn, I appreciate your active commitment to human rights for all people. And I want to express my appreciation to the Atlanta Pride Committee for inviting me to join you today and for organizing this impressive demonstration of solidarity and hope. I thank you as well for supporting the Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday March and your ongoing efforts in the struggle against racism and all forms of discrimination. One of the reasons I wanted to join you today is to affirm my wholehearted support of freedom from discrimination for lesbian and gay people. I do so because I believe that all forms of persecution is wrong. As my husband Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have fought too long and hard against segregated public accommodations to end up segregating my moral concerns. Justice is indivisible. It is vitally important for African Americans, lesbian and gay people, the women's rights movement, and all groups who experience discrimination to work together in multicultural coalitions for justice. When we join together in coalitions, we create a force called synergy, which is sometimes explained by the equation of 1 + 1 = 3. In other words, two groups working together in cooperation get additional leverage, which gives them the power of 3 groups. The civil rights movement that I believe in thrives on unity and inclusion, not division and exclusion. discrimination and support equal rights should stand together to resist every attempt to restrict civil rights in this country. Another reason for joining together in coalitions is that we share common adversaries. The church burners and the gay bashers drink from the same poisonous well of hatred and male violence. And very often they are one and the same. In this important election year, we share a critical interest in the election of candidates who will support and protect human rights. I would urge everyone who believes in Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of a nation free from bigotry and discrimination to vote against attempts to deny the promise of America to any citizen. I proudly join you in supporting the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, which would protect all people from discrimination. This act would protect all people from discrimination on the job resulting from sexual orientation. The series of church burnings over the last 18 months bring a timely reminder that we should be very concerned about hate groups and extremists who commit violent acts against minorities. In addition, we share concern about candidates who hope to win votes by bashing gay and lesbian people and pandering to the irrational fears and ignorance of the constituents. Let's make 1996 be the year that we put tolerance and human rights for all people in the forefront of our national agenda. We also share a common interest in key reforms such as universal, affordable health care for every citizen, no exception. We must hold candidates accountable for their positions on critical issues like gun control, the need to invest our taxes in education and job training programs instead of military hardware, and protecting our precious environment from industrial pollution. Let no candidate get your vote without stating a clear and conscientious position on these issues. Finally, I want to assure you that I will continue to support you in your efforts to rid our country and the nation of all forms of bigotry, of racism, sexism, and homophobia. I ask you to remember that July 9th is primary day, and now is the time to educate yourselves and your fellow voters about the candidate's position on discrimination issues. Most importantly of all, I hope you will make a commitment to get out and vote on election day so we can turn this country around and create a society where all people can live together with respect, tolerance, and a new spirit of hope and opportunity. With this commitment, together, we shall overcome. Thank you, and God bless you.